changes. We have a motion on the floor and we have a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Hold on a second, I didn't understand. So you're disregarding my input and you just.
No,
made a
I'm not
motion.
disregarding it. We have a motion on the floor and we have to bring it to a resolution.
Well, if you bring that motion, then I can't amend the
You
motion.
want to amend it?
I wanted to amend it to include to include the verbiage that the employees work for the residents. And
Excuse me, you didn't say you wanted to amend it. I thought it was just discussion.
well,
No, I'm not trying to give you a bad time.
Okay.
It's just the parliamentary procedure. Now, if you want to back up and amend the motion, we will vote on your amendment.
great, I would
Is
like.
that what you'd like to do?
Yes, I'd like to back up and amend the motion, and I only want to add in verbiage on page 3, after the counselor explained to me about page 4, that it something to the effect that first and foremost, the employees of the town do work for the residents of the town of Palatine, and that they should keep in mind that they have an obligation to do the best for the residents.
I am not thoroughly understanding your change. Linda, can you, if that's a motion, can you read it back to me?
Well, what he said was, he wants to have to the effect that the employees do work for the town of Palatine, and they do work for the residents. That's what he said.
Okay, that's a motion. Do we have a second?
Well, Hank made the motion, so Hank.
No, now we're dealing with the amendment. We're backing up.
We're amending.
I am giving him the latitude to back up and as though we have not voted on that motion.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
okay.
now we're voting on an amendment to the original motion.
So
To Hank's
Hank made a motion to adopt employee handbook and policy manual
As
with,
presented.
as presented,
Right.
So-
with the amendments, with the addition to this. What
Without,
Chris said.
he made it without an amendment, so now someone has to second my amendment to add some verbiage about.
No, we haven't voted on the
Oh,
first one yet.
okay, there you go. I get you, right, because you backed up. Pardon me.
We backed up, so
Okay.
I have Hank made a motion, Sean seconded to adopt the employee handbook and policy manual as presented. That's what I had.
Right.
And Bill asked for a vote, we had 3 ayes and you didn't vote.
Correct. Now,
So,
Now, I am giving him the benefit of the doubt here. We are going to back up because he didn't make it clear that he was amending the motion or he wanted the motion amended.
so Chris
All right?
is
We had
making a
misunder-
motion.
We had a misunderstanding. Now, Chris is trying to change that motion. Okay, so now we have to vote on the motion change.
Okay, but I didn't get a
Yes.
vote for Chris.
I think we need to discuss the amendment prior to voting whether or not to amend.
That's
And
right.
then go back and redo the vote if indeed you're rescinding the first vote and allowing this change, which is what it sounds like. So there should be discussion on his suggested amendment.
we still need a second though, right? Because I made the motion, so we do need a second. So if no one seconds it or we don't get a second, we,
I'm
It's
confused.
dizzying, Linda. It's okay.
I'm
It's okay.
confused. We had a motion and
We have a
Bill
second.
asked for, we had a second, Bill asked for a vote.
And
We
we
had
voted.
3 ayes and Chris didn't vote. So is he a no vote on that one and we're all done with that?
We're backing up further than that.
Okay, Linda.
This has got me so
Yeah,
confused.
the
I don't know
motion,
what
the
I-
motion was on the floor and voted on. I should really go forward with that. It was a done deal. But to give him a chance to back up, I must have misunderstood him, okay? To give him a chance to amend that motion that we've already voted on, say, treat it like we didn't vote.
Okay,
All right?
all right.
Now, he is making a motion to amend that motion. So
Okay.
everybody is clear on it.
All right, he's
Now-
made a motion to amend the motion.
The previous one, yes. Okay, now, we need a second
Second.
on the amendment. Is there a second on amending that motion? Okay, there's no second, so that dies. All right, so now I will ask for a vote on the original motion to adopt this employee handbook and policy manual of the town of Palatine as is.
As
All
presented,
right,
yep.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Abstain.
Carried. Okay, we adopted the manual.
So I'm going to have to reprint without the draft, and you all will have a signature
No.
page added to it along with the forms. There are required forms that go along with this that are not part of the manual.
Forms where each employee signs for the manual?
Well, that's going to be, yes, that'll be a signature page will be included with
Okay.
the final. However, there are grievance policies, if you read through the manual, you have to have forms. I'm going to make sure Linda has them because you're required to have them here at the town office. I have posters for you already. I mentioned to Bill, one to be posted here and one at the town barn. I'll make sure to give them to you, Linda, probably you can get it.
Did we have to have an officer to receive?
That's another point of discussion. The sexual harassment policy, the workplace grievance, the whistleblower policy, they all require that you have a grievance officer of sorts.
That brings
The
up,
fallback position is you all. But 9-year doesn't recommend, and legally I don't recommend that it's you all, because now you're sort of convoluting all of your roles. So I think you need to either appoint or hire someone to handle all of these things.
I was told that we could go to the county for that function.
I have been talking to the county, and county does not want
They don't want anything to
anything
do with it?
you. I'm
Okay.
sorry. You can't
He
use.
just want money. He just want money.
No, they don't. They don't want the extra complications. They're underfunded and overworked, and they don't really
Yeah, no, I
want to
know what
take
you
on the
mean.
town business.
I was talking generally.
Yeah, so you can use me. The only caveat to using me as your grievance officer, or you could use someone like, she's glaring at me, your ethics person, could be a possible, officer that you can go to. Or you can use me, the caveat being, if it comes down to litigation, it wouldn't be me you use, then you're hiring outside litigation. Before you shake your head, that might happen anyway, depending on the nature of whatever the grievance is. Some of the stuff we wouldn't handle. We don't handle the criminal complaints. We don't handle certain things anyway. And we might be faced with a conflict of interest,
Right.
but not necessarily initially. The conflict of interest doesn't begin, and if there is a conflict of interest, that's when we can notify there's a conflict. Now you need to hire outside counsel. I almost feel that's a safer way to go monetarily, but if you feel you'd rather be on safer ground, like we don't want to have any potential, conflicts, then you can do it that way. Niner had a legal representative present at this training, and there were both sides presented, and they've said both are good. They're both okay. So
So
it's up to you how you want to handle
If you can satisfactorily handle the grievance, everything's good.
that. Correct. And if I'm following procedure,
Right.
it should be fine. If it goes to a litigation case, which hopefully they won't, hopefully we can resolve, then I would step out. I would be the grievance officer, so I'd be involved in that aspect, but you'd be hiring outside counsel to handle it. So,
Okay.
in the event you had to go that way. And you don't have to decide
Well,
immediately,
This is
but I
something we
think you need to
can
decide.
deal with at a later date, think
Okay.
about a little bit.
All right, sure.
But now we enacted this handbook, so what is mandatory for everyone to sign? What we
I'm
can,
gonna reprint, so it doesn't say draft, and I'm
Okay.
going to have a signature page, for each individual to sign. Every individual employee will need to sign one, including your union workers. And you guys, and volunteers, and everybody. Me, I have to sign it.
so the biggest impact's gonna be to the guys at the highway garage. So,
I don't think think it will have an impact.
Not an
They're under
impact, but I
union
mean, we
contract.
got, that's where,
That's where the most
That's-
numbers are, but that isn't where
Right.
the biggest chance of a claim exists.
I think it could exist easily amongst your
Right
elected
here.
officials,
Yes, sir.
frankly, and the people that you don't see every day. You don't see Leanne here all the time. You don't see, I mean, even your dog enforcement, your dog control officer, and your Cliff is gonna have to, everybody has to sign this and agree to the policies. That's a term of employment. That's what this stated in here. This is a term of your, you have to abide and agree to abide by this or you're not employed here. Okay?
Thank you very
All
much.
right,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. I'll get this back to you this week.
Appreciate it.
Are we on new business?
I put that under old business, so
No.
I guess we're all set there then?
Put me on
Now-
next month's meeting for a vote on who your officer's gonna be on your agenda.
This has to be an unpleasant thing.
Thank you. We're all set then.
On the town webpage, which by the way looks beautiful, at least the manifest page that you see, there's a URL to that political site that we all know and some of us love and some of us hate, called Here We Go, Let Us Grow.
I didn't put that.
I don't know who did it, but it's there.
Okay.
And some of us have deep ethical objections to that being there, because there's all kinds of scurrilous stuff, including something harvested from my own webpage a long time ago,
Okay.
which I would gladly like to see gone, but it's there. Why the hell, if you'll excuse the expression, is this stuff on the town webpage? It makes no sense.
I was just on it today. I didn't see it.
Oh, it's there. It's a URL in the lower right area.
actually on the home page, there's a Facebook link. If you click on, that's what you get.
Yeah.
And also, just to piggyback, or I don't mean to take
No,
your-
no, go right
Okay,
ahead.
because I did some
I have the strongest
I
objections.
haven't seen it, Hank.
Well-
Well, I don't know who did it. I have the strongest objections to this because it's so fucking partisan, that it should not be there. And excuse my language, but it's just outrageous that somebody put that on there.
Well, it actually breaks our election law, and because we're not supposed to have any campaigning, that website is town property. And content is controlled under Town Law 64, which means that the board controls it. We cannot abdicate that responsibility to an administrator. I spoke with a representative at the Association of Towns, I'm sure council can concur, that the board is responsible for the content on that website. And we're supposed to vote for what's supposed to be on there and pick and choose what's on there. There's also links to videos. Until the board makes an official video, and those videos are actually linked to the Facebook page, to that site.
Yeah, they're on.
Okay, which it's actually blocked a number of us and has blocked, I think, some journalists from being on that site. We need to remove it immediately, like it has to go tomorrow. And the videos have to come down because they're linked through that site, and we have to put an official, anything that goes on there needs to go through us. And it needs to be informational.
You mean I gotta get your permission to put minutes on?
The board must vote that minutes are one of the things that we put on the page.
So, I mean, if you make a motion that the minutes are put on the page, so I don't have to come and contact
You don't have to come every time, but
Okay,
in other
all
words,
right.
our site, before we
Okay.
place anything, so if we decide we're gonna have forms, I also was informed that if we, like some towns put up community information, okay? So like the Little League thing, like Little League sign up, if we do it for one, we have to do it for everybody. So any community organization that walks in here,
What?
we have to do it for all of
Are
them.
you sure about that?
Yes, I spoke to the Association of Towns Attorney yesterday, and she said to me,
Well, that's-
just be careful if you do that. So if you allow one community event on, okay, then anybody who has a community event we have to treat everyone equal. Okay, and that is the
Am I
rule.
getting the glove?
So just remember, if we do that, so if we allow like a community bulletin board, any group that's a bona fide community group can come in and say, could you please post this on the town website? And,
I don't think we do that anyway.
we don't.
We
I'm
don't.
just saying,
No.
if we did, we would
We would
have
have
to,
to.
okay?
Okay.
So just so we're aware of how the law works. and that we need to be completely nonpartisan because it is a town, it is an official town site, it is town property. So as far as elections are treated, it's the same as if you were electioneering on town property, which is against the law. So I strongly concur with you and ask that we remove that immediately. Any references to that site.
Do you have an opinion on this? What's your
I mean,
opinion?
I agree with you that you should be careful what goes on your town website, but I think
I
I've
don't
heard
know
him
what's on
say.
there, frankly, I
heard him
can't
say,
tell
I
you.
have no idea
You're
why
right.
that's on there,
The-
so let's
the-
talk
The
about it.
URL just says Facebook, and then when you,
Click on Facebook.
yeah, and then when you click on it, you go right to, here we go, let's grow,
No, I think
whatever.
I would agree with that, that if you have a town of Palatine website, you need to be really cautious what kind of
Well,
information will
what
go
they
on
do
there.
Yeah, but now you're
Or
talking
live
about
links to
clicking
some-
on something,
Yep.
it takes you somewhere else?
You have a nice, yeah, you have the nice entry webpage that,
Yeah.
which is also referenced by the county, by the way, so you could enter through the county.
Yes, you can
Go
enter
to the
through the
nice-
county portal.
The beautiful job that they've done with the Town of Palatine website, but then in the lower right corner, there's a blue URL that says Facebook. When you hit that, you get, here we go, time to
That
grow.
website was taken that website was taken from our old website. That's our old website
Actually,
brought in.
the Facebook page did not appear, when I looked at it last month, there was no Facebook link, and now there's a Facebook.
There
link.
was I know what you're talking about, there was what I'm gonna call a pseudo-official webpage that had Bill's, well, I think that's the best thing. It had Bill's picture in the middle, and then it said, here we go, let's grow.
I
Well,
was just on it
whatever.
today.
And there's three or four posted videos, but if you go to the videos, you link back to the page that supplied the video, which is the
What
Facebook page.
website address are you using?
Townofpalatine.org, which you can get
What you
to,
referenced last.
which you
Yeah.
can get to two ways. You can get there from either directly typing that in, or you go to the County of Montgomery and it says Town of Palatine official webpage, and you click on that and it goes right to the townofpalatine.org.
Can-
So it's
There's
gets you
been
the same
nothing,
place.
there's been nothing put on that website. Anything that's on that website was, other than the names, changing names of people, everything that's on that website was on there
Well,
when
you can go look at it now, but
I want to make a suggestion, rather than argue about the current content, I think that legally you should be really careful what's put on your website, and you should have some kind of agreement amongst yourselves what is allowable on that website prior to it going live.
I can
So-
come to next month's board meeting with an outline, and we'll approve minutes and all this kind of stuff to go on the website. And to the best of my knowledge,
No, I don't know who put it
it's
on
nothing
there.
that I have sponsored.
No.
And you
Nobody-
know,
Nobody
that,
said that, and there may be a chain of 3 or 4 people between you and whoever put it on there, but it has been on there.
Also, though, last meeting, I asked that I made a motion that we decide what content went on there, and I was voted down.
that's right.
So, I consider this suspicious or possibly retribution, because it's actually politically motivated. The site that's on there is politically motivated against Hank and I, and other people that are running for office. So, I think it needs to be removed, like, tomorrow.
Yes, Ben.
I'd like assurances that that's gonna happen.
I can't assure you that's going to happen. The people who are doing the website are not available tomorrow. And I haven't instructed them to do anything like that. All I was involved in was the initial setup on it, so. And I don't know where the controlling whatever for that website is, other than the people at Candle Lake Computer.
Well,
So
it may have been.
I don't understand unless he has taken some of the links off those other 3 websites and made them available on the new one.
Well, the new Here We Go doesn't have your picture on it anymore, it did for a while.
It does in photos.
Yeah, but
It does, and it
used
has
to-
who to vote
used to-
for and-
no, it
But
used
that's
to-
probably accurate.
You can't
But I
hook
can
me to
set
any
it
of
up.
it, because I
I'm not-
haven't done
I didn't
any of
say-
it.
We did not
didn't
hook you
say
to it. We said we want it
I didn't say you
removed.
did it, I said,
But you control the website. We voted last month for us to decide what content before it went live, and
It may
you
have
said
been,
no.
it may have even been an innocent action by someone that says, let's just add a little more to the story and put that old website link to that one.
Yeah, if it's wrong, I will fix it, and I will be here next month with an outline of what we put on the website and what we don't,
Okay?
and the board can approve it. You know, I'm not trying to give anybody bad time.
No.
I thought I did a good thing, but apparently not, so.
Well, nobody said you put the Facebook URL on there. Nobody ever said that, but it was on there.
Well, then it's
I
got,
don't think you're even doing it.
that's got, no, I'm not doing
Yeah.
it. That's gotta come off, I
Do you have a
agree with you.
liaison? Do you have are you the liaison for the person who's
It's a
doing the web
Candlelight
development?
computer, yeah.
Okay, so then you have to be really forthcoming with them about what they're
Oh, I
about.
do,
Maybe
yeah.
somebody else, maybe they did what you just said, they innocently got it from other previous links that were.
I mean, somebody could have been generous, so here's something referring to Palatine Bridge, I'll link to
Yeah,
it.
so
you know.
as long as they're clear. I agree.
We'll do the best we can with it. That's all I can do.
I have another question to that point. There's been ads in the country editor that have been placed about the town website and so forth. Who paid for those ads?
I did.
Okay. So you paid for it because it seems that you're promoting the website that has this
The
material
town-
that's against certain members of this board. So I'm just
The
curious.
town of Palatine will be receiving a bill for May's ads. And all the ad says is townofpalatine.org. It's just a,
Doesn't say unedited information underneath?
yes, it does.
Well, that can't.
That's what it is.
That's not permissible.
Yeah, yes, it is.
We never
When we
voted
put
to
the
approve
minutes
it.
on, they are unedited.
Actually, the minutes are completely edited. If it was a video or a recording, it would be unedited.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
Well, I think this is a very important point that we need to make here, that it's one person's perception and not the board, and I believe council has told us we need to make a decision and be very careful before it gets live. I think we should take down any information on that site immediately until we make that determination. Matter of fact, I make a motion, that we suspend any information on that site until the board has approved it.
Second it.
Okay. Got a motion, we got a second, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no.
Carried.
Okay. We will have the website dealt with, just
Thank
as
you.
quick as I can get it done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else? It's time for public comment.
Oh, we got paid abstract first.
Oh, ooh, how come I always forget that? I don't like to pay the bills. All right, we have a motion to pay the bills.
I'll make that motion, we pay the abstracts.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, we pay the bills. Public comment. Yes.
I just wanted to, as a person with knowledge of network and internet stuff, that link on that is on the webpage is a link to Facebook. Facebook, that link pulls up information that has anything to do with Town of Palatine. It happens to be the Here We Go Watch Us Grow site.
There
That's
wasn't a
what-
search engine involved, so that's not true.
So from what you're saying, it's nothing I can actually take off the website?
Well, yeah, you
We
can.
never
You
put it on
can. You can take the Facebook link right off of that page. You don't have to have it because
Take
the town.
Facebook link off?
Yep, because the
entirely?
town of Palatine does
Okay.
not have a Facebook page.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Yes.
It wasn't on your agenda because I didn't have some information to ask you to put it on your agenda. But on the Town of Palatine Assessor's Report for tonight, she says that she reached out to the members of the BAR to get times of the hearing that's coming up for grievance day. If you look back on a email that you folks got, It says, next year's grievance day will be May the 28th, 2019. As of this writing, the hearing hours will remain the same as this year's, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. and 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So the board did their job, and I don't want you to think that we didn't provide the correct information. We did.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else?
I've got a point of personal privilege. People had an ethics issue with me at some point in the past, and for the first time in a few meetings, Kirsten is here, said, do we want to handle this?
We can.
Okay.